This evening I would like to continue to explore Tsewa. I started with that last time. And Tsewa is a Tibetan word which refers to the capacity or the potential of warmth and tenderness, of care in your heart. Something we all have, something we are born with. But quite often we stop to value it, or we don't take it as important as it is. So tonight I would like to point to this beautiful resource, which is really the most powerful medicine, which is a source for a great intelligence, and which makes your life meaningful. We need Tsewa like we need oxygen. Animals need Tsewa like oxygen. Tsewa is, in the Tibetan tradition, the foundation for the qualities of compassion and love, and then culminating into the heart of bodhicitta, the awakened heart. And in the tantric tradition, Tsewa is described as a movement within the subtle body. So I'm not talking about a complicated conceptual thing which we need to figure out, or so that's a completely different level, which is also part of our exploration of compassion and love. But I'm more talking about the daily movements of your heart, the tenderness, the flow, the expansion. When you see a duck with her kids, tonight I want to inspire you to make attention to Tsewa a daily practice, because that's probably the most important thing, how we nurture it, how we become familiar with it, that we become aware and that we value it, and that every day we make this intention to give and receive Tsewa, to make that a priority in our life. The most important thing. It is very, very likely that at the end of this life, which is coming up, probably quicker than you think, that the most important question you will ask yourself: what did I do with my Tsewa? Did I share Tsewa? You're not going to ask if you finished your thesis, or how many iPhones you had, or so what you're going to ask is, where did I receive and give Tsewa? Where did I felt expansion? Where did I hold back? Where did my grudges and my self-centeredness and my self-importance prevented me to give seva. Where was to be right more important than to feel connected? And I choose to use this word seva because sometimes it's good to give a new name to something which is, so simple. I mean, it's so simplistic in a way what I'm going to talk tonight. It's a bit like, it's not, it's nothing to memorize or nothing to learn, or it's not a complicated discussion. I'm really talking about this somatic, visceral feeling of expansion and softness and tenderness in your heart. This pulsating, this flowing, this glow, which is running, and maybe we not even say heart, because you feel it, you feel it in your toes, you feel it in your hands. Your hairs stand on end like mine. So when I talk about seva, I give seva, and I receive seva in the same moment. Without seva, your life has no meaning, and there's always seva around. In crisis. Just drive with the bus to Copenhagen. Just go to the park. And of course we do it. No, I'm not talking about something which we not... it's happening. In your family. Probably when you walked here, there was something. You saw happy people who were in contact with their seva. So it's not that it is something which is not already happening. I just want to kind of value it and prioritize it. Because, what is important in your life? What do you pay attention to? Where does your mental energy go? And I want to inspire or encourage all of us to direct more mental attention to the experience of receiving and giving seva. It's often overseen, a kind person who is smiling at you, or just taking your time to sit in a park and watch people and let yourself be touched by seva. It's not stupid. It's not vulnerable. It's not going to ruin your career. Not at all. If you think that you need to be professional and that you need to leave your seva at home with your kids, no. We need seva everywhere. Particularly there where it is difficult, where we try to hide, or where we toughen up, or there particular seva is needed. And there's so much courage and protection in seva. Seva can move so much. So when we start to soften to that energy, to that feeling of being touched, of feeling connected, of feeling vulnerable, it's not just wonderful, there is also a bittersweetness in it. Something where you might feel, oh, I'm getting afraid. It's like, no, I don't want to be touched. I came here to listen to some Buddhist thought and do some mindfulness. I don't want to be touched. It's, there might be some tears in my eyes. That would be so horrible. It would be so horrible when other people see that I'm touched by Tsewa. It's so stupid that we see that as weakness. So there's not much to learn tonight. I will stay on this simplistic level because it is so simple. Animals have it. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. You can have an IQ of 60 and you can ooze Tsewa. And some of them do. No, in the eyes of the world you could be completely, you could be seen as a failure. And you could be a source of Tsewa for everyone. No, if you're in a crisis right now, and most of us are, in a transition, if you struggle in a relationship, if you struggle with an inner experience, ask yourself, how can I bring more Tsewa into this? And your heart knows. You don't need a list of steps or something. Your heart knows how to bring Tsewa into this. A little bit. A little gentleness, a little tenderness, a little softness, a little glow. How can I bring Tsewa into this? And where do in my life where do I receive Tsewa? Maybe you have a little Tsewa bomb at home, like a little dog or a child. I think that's why people have children. They want to have a Tsewa bomb in their life. And of course, those of you who have children, it's so easy for you to connect with Tsewa. It's the most precious. And you could maybe value it a little bit more. Maybe not. That's up to you to see, there's actually some room for improvement. So in the first meditation, and this was already the meditation. I tricked you in meditation because this is the Tibetan word for meditation is gom, which means to become familiar with healthy states of mind, healthy states of mind heart. Yeah? So, and the most healthy state of mind heart body is Tsewa. So one of the ways in the Tibetan tradition to connect with Tsewa, and I would like to make this offer in this guided meditation, so that you can feel into if this could be a possible way for you, is to connect to Tsewa through the presence of a teacher, through the presence of a mentor, through the presence of someone where you feel this person embodies Tsewa, brings Tsewa into my life. And this can be Jesus, this can be the Dalai Lama, this can be a therapist who you have worked with, this can be an artist who has touched you on that level with his art. This can be any spiritual teacher, male, female, Buddhist or non-Buddhist. And so I will guide you a bit into settling here and connecting with the body, and then I will invite you to feel, is that a practice which is helpful for you? Could be an angel, maybe you have, or a goddess, or something which works for you. Could be also your grandfather. It does not need to be a person who you met, and it could be also a few. So it's called a refuge field in the Buddhist tradition, the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. So it could be a few. You could just put some of those people in front of you into a Harry Potter picture, where they like wave and they smile while we do this, it is good to be aware when we do this kind of practices that we are relating to an aspect of ourself. So we are not talking here about worshipping someone or receiving Tsewa. It is really connecting with the Tsewa in you. So a teacher is a way, in the Tibetan tradition, is a way for you to relate to those aspects which are embodied in the teacher, which you project on the teacher, to relate them within you. So if you feel the presence of the Dalai Lama, you are actually connecting with the Dalai Lama within you. Okay, so let's take a few minutes to just shift. So if you like, you can close your eyes. And then notice what happens if you start to pay a bit more attention to your inner life, to what you bring with you into this moment. And then I invite you with the in-breath to slide with your attention into the body, even down into your feet. And you welcome yourself. You welcome what you bring into this moment. And nothing is excluded. So we are not here to calm down or to feel better, but to embrace. And then with the out-breath, if possible, you release some tension, some effort. So with the in-breath, embracing, befriending. And with the out-breath, letting go of the control freak, of the meditator. How's your belly? Your shoulders? And there's a shift from the head into the body. Of course, thoughts continue to arise, but they become less important. Let them be. And only sometimes when you find yourself really entangled in the thinking, carried away, and you make this gentle movement back into your belly, into your hands, feeling the aliveness in the body, feeling the breath in the body. For a few minutes, give yourself the permission to do nothing. Just being, just sitting. With the in-breath, befriending, embracing. With the out-breath, softening, giving space. And returning and resting. Exploring what happens when you let this moment be exactly what it is. And then I invite you in the space in front of you to feel the presence of a mentor, a teacher, the Dalai Lama, the Buddha, the Karmapa, Jesus, Tara. And it is like the morning eastern sun rising after a cold night. Don't force anything. Just see what happens. You feel the loving glow of their presence in your whole body, from the toes to the top of your head. The glow of Tsewa, the loving gaze, compassionate presence. You hear their voices. You feel the presence. You smell them. And they look at you, smiling. They see you, and they love you. Stay connected with your body and feel how it is to be seen, even in your dark places. Make yourself naked, vulnerable. So we are not looking for big things, just tenderness, gentleness. Openness. Every cell of your body opens like a flower. And particularly there where you're hard with yourself, where you're ashamed, you soften a tiny little bit. And then returning to the aliveness in the body. And to the loving gaze. Now you imagine this person, for example Jesus, to step behind you, and he puts his hand onto your shoulders. And you feel the warmth and vitality. And this touch says, I'm here with you, whatever it is. I'm here with you, whatever it is. And you feel the warmth, the vitality, the tenderness spread from your shoulders into your chest, into your belly, into your root. And then these mentors, these role models, they dissolve into that glow of Tsewa. And that light enters your heart. Your heart opens like a flower. Your chest opens like a flower. As if there's a Buddha inside, as if there's a Jesus inside. And Tsewa fills your body and radiates out. Feel yourself to be a source of Tsewa. Feel how it is to reach out to your kids, to your dog, to your beloved. Feel how it is to make a meal, to give a gift, to smile, to make someone happy. How does it feel to help someone? In the belly, in your hands. Feel how it is when Tsewa looks through your eyes onto your beloved, onto your kids, onto your dog. There's a Buddha in your heart. He wants to come out. There's a goddess in your heart. She wants to come out. And then rest a few more minutes, and whatever is there for you. Nothing is excluded. Just resting Listen to the stillness. Bathing in Tsewa. Okay. Thank you. So that is in the traditional practice in Tibetan Buddhism one way how we could invite Tsewa into our life every day, every morning, for example. So many people have, for example, pictures of their teachers somewhere, and then every morning one would connect with Tsewa in that way, particularly because with some of these teachers it's very easy to connect with Tsewa on a visceral level. I think that's what makes them so attractive. I think most people, they don't go to a teaching by His Holiness Dalai Lama out of philosophical reasons. Some of them do, yes, and he can also fulfill that role. But I think most people go there to see him blowing his nose and hearing him laughing and it's amazing if like someone like His Holiness Dalai Lama who have made Tsewa top number one in their life, how they actually embody that, and how everyone feels it. Every maybe not everyone, but most of the people really feel it. Also the animals, they also feel it. It's worth to check that out. Now, there's a Tibetan teacher coming here, end of the month, Yangtze Rinpoche, and he has that quality. So if you have time on that Saturday evening, then just meet a Tibetan warrior who is the most gentle person in the world. So, and we can be like that. You know, it's in our nature. It's in our capacity to be like that, to become like that. So if this practice spoke to you, I mean, obviously it does not speak to everyone, and maybe you didn't have a good evening tonight, so that's all fine, but maybe you felt, yeah, this is something that might be helpful for me. And if you felt, no, this is too cheesy, no, I'm not doing that kind of stuff, so then you also found something out. Yeah? So that's completely fine. The wonderful thing is, in the Tibetan Buddhist teachings, there's so many doorways into Tsewa, really for everyone. Yeah? So one of the important ingredient, so I will talk a bit now for 15 minutes, and then we have a break, and then I will lead another meditation, and there will be time for question. One of the important ingredients in strengthening seva, the capacity to give and receive seva, is intention. Because it is setting an intention which directs where you put your attention to. And there's many subconscious processes going on in every moment, competing for attention. So it's not enough to just say, okay, my intention now is to pay attention to seva. No, because there's subconscious processes competing with that, and they will say, here, worry, nobody loves you, people are mean, people steal, don't trust people. Yeah, so no, don't be a softie. You need to be tough, vulnerable. What is important in life? To get on with things, to be successful, to make money. Yeah, so there's like different voices competing all the time, and they all want to carry the I hat. Yeah, which is where you put your sense of identity to. Yeah, the I hat. So which in that team, that competing team, do you want to let drive the car? Yeah. So intention is such an important thing, and I mean, that's, I think, the main purpose of this talk, is to make you think about, maybe I want to prioritize seva. Maybe I'm going to do it. And then, if in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, it's very common. A common part of one's practice is not only in the morning to connect with seva through one's teacher, but also to set the intention to prioritize seva today. To open your eyes. What do I want to pay attention to? To the people who smile, or to the people who look tough and hard and don't smile? Which one? So, or what do I want to prioritize in myself? Gentleness, openness, curiosity? Or do I want to prioritize my smartphone? Is that what I want to pay attention to? That's definitely competing all the time. The little dopamine kick. So you might sit there somewhere in the bus, reaching for this little dopamine kick, and there's seva bombs sitting around you, and you just don't notice, because it's not important to feel soft when you see a baby. That's not important. And the dopamine kick will really compete. Because that's this kind of little this little, this little relief, yeah, this little kick. So it will take over. So that's why this, setting the intention, but then also through mindfulness, that's what mindfulness practice is, to pay attention to that which is important to you. So, this is one way to describe mindfulness. So, what is it? What is it what you want to pay attention to? And you don't have choice completely. There's not 100% freedom, So you say, okay, in the morning, now I want to pay attention to Tsewa. That would be great if that would be easy like that. It's really hard work in a way. Because you need to kind of rewire neuronal pathways. The ones who look for the dopamine kick, they are very strong. The Tsewa neuronal pathways, they need some water. They need some firing. How do you make them fire? By having a kind of gentle discipline in this. So it's like, so how do you nurture this intention, and how do you help yourself to remember what is important in your life? Life is short. Maybe today is the last day where you can experience Tsewa, where you can feel the soft movements in your heart. And I'm talking about simple things here. I'm not talking about extraordinary experiences which we might seek on the spiritual path. It's nothing about that. Yes, there are moments like I'm one with everyone and my heart opens and stuff like that, but most of that is bullshit and short-lived. So I'm really talking about this simple, gentle, tender movements in your heart, and valuing them, and making them. If you do this for a few weeks, you will start to notice a difference. You will start to notice a difference. And it's not like it's not spectacular, and you can't post it on Facebook. And it's not necessarily showing, that you are suddenly this radiant, loving person. No, it's more subtle and more simple, but nevertheless important, crucial. So, setting the intention. And if you are a very rational person, look into research about the power of, they don't call it a soft thing, they call it social awareness in leadership. Yeah. Look into the health benefits. If you already know, this is it, so you don't need to bother about studies, or if you already feel, wow, this is actually important. This is actually, could it be that is what my life is about? Could it be? Could it be that's actually what I'm looking for? What I'm searching for, what we all search for? Connectedness, home, tenderness, expansion, care. So if you set the intention in the morning, maybe with a prayer, or so may I be aware when there is seva arising through giving or receiving seva. Then throughout the day, you might start to prioritize it and actually take the time in the bus or in the work, doing daily life, when you have these moments with your children. In movies. No, watch Netflix and pick the ones who nurture seva. Get to know it. Make your nervous system familiar with it. Bring it into the flow with seva. Let yourself be touched through cat videos. And then you feel the nurturing, healing quality of that energy. Where in your life is someone waiting for your tsewa, depending on your tsewa? What is with your parents? Your kids is obvious. They live from your tsewas. That's the most important thing. It's not the food, it's not the education, it's not the clothes. Your kids live from seva. That's what brings out their capacity, their potential. That brings out what is most important, and that's their tsewa. And they will be happy people. You know, if you run through your life and you are successful in everything and you make money and without seva, it's empty. It's meaningless. You end up in a beautiful flat and there's no tsewa. Get yourself a dog, a plant, an aquarium. No, even fish respond to seva. So intention, directing your attention. And that what you pay attention to, you become. That's what you become familiar with. This is what you soak in, what you pay attention to. And then there is another factor here which you also train with what you strengthen in meditation practice, and that is introspective awareness. So introspective awareness is this capacity we all have as human beings to check up. You know, how is it going? How is the Seva project going? What do I pay attention to? So it is introspective awareness which becomes like a mindfulness spell. Yeah? So like saying, oh, you didn't have your Seva break, you know? The 15 seconds Seva break every hour. Yeah? Looking at a cat video or something. Yeah. So, did you have your Seva break in this hour, 15 minutes? Yeah? I think one of the contemplations, and that's the last thing I say before the break, one of the contemplations within the Buddhist tradition, which are really helpful to bring the necessary urgency into this, is remembering death. Because they are contemplating and remembering death kind of can shake us, and because it's easy to pay attention to other things. It's easy to spend years and years with meaningless things. And also, contemplating death might make us more courageous in letting go of grudges. Come on, we are going to die. She is going to die. Is it that important? You don't know if you're going to see her again. So you can probably feel how remembering death can kind of give you a little, yeah, come on, let's just forget about it, my God. I mean, we all make mistakes, we all fuck things up, we all create messes, and we all do horrible things. Because we are out of touch with Tsewa, like everyone else. So your neighbor, come on, just soften a bit. And your parents. Also when they are dead, I mean, there is still kind of Tsewa flow possible, between you and your parents. They don't need to be alive. They will feel it anyway. And since your parents are part of you, I mean, they're in your cells. They are in your being. Yeah? So whenever you connect with Tsewa, they also connect with Tsewa. So now I just thought about parents. There is something like tough Tsewa. Tsewa does not need necessarily be like all smiley and softy. No. Because there is also an intelligence in Tsewa, knowing what is the right thing to do, what is the right thing to say. So Tsewa does not make us helpless, or does not support resignation, or kind of, okay, now you do whatever you want with me, or So that's important. Tsewa is also intelligent, and there is something like tough Tsewa, firm Tsewa, which, and this is so beautiful that is possible, to be tough but not losing the connection with your heart. To be firm, to be clear, but not losing the connection with your heart. That's definitely possible. It's difficult, but it's possible.
Like, for example, setting your limits?
Yes.
And then away.
Yes. Okay, so let's have a break, and then I will lead another meditation, and then there will be some time for questions.